So we've talked about the 5 Ps. Number one, program. So that has to do with the student's coursework. Number two, performance, the student's grades in the coursework. Number three, potential, PSAT, SAT, and ACT scores. And number four, participation, which has to do with their, participation in activities beyond the classroom. And number five, personality, which is often measured with essays and letters of recommendation and interviews. So let's look at, it would be really cool to see how these 5 Ps present themselves in in an actual college's admission requirements and scholarship requirements. So what I want you to do is I want you to return to the common data set. In the common data set, you're going to see this section, and I pulled this from the University of Oklahoma's common data set. And this talks about the relative importance of each of the following academic and non-academic factors in your first year degree seeking general, not including programs of specific criteria, admissions decisions. So I want people to really see what is very important at a school, what's important, and what's considered. Here lately, I've had parents tell me, like, well, my student is involved in all of these different extracurricular activities, and but so why do we still have to bother with the academic piece? Because they're in all of these leadership activities, and they're doing all these great things, and that's okay. Yes, that's fine, but here's the thing: you need to understand the rules of the game. And at this school, they consider extracurricular activities when it comes to admissions decisions. But what's very important is the rigor of the secondary school record. So that is program. Another thing that's very important is the class rank. The class rank is I beg your pardon. The class rank is important. The academic GPA is very important. The standardized test scores are very important. And then, so you see, the school is really prioritizing program, performance, and potential, not necessarily participation. So when you all are thinking about how you're spending your time, consider this information. And I also want you to look at we're going to look at something else regarding the criteria used in awarding institutional aid. That's another way of think of that as scholarships from the colleges. When they decide to grant non-need-based aid, so these are people here who are whose families do not need-based are people whose families have low income, few assets. They have like little money in the bank, very little money in the bank, and they don't own a lot of things. That for when we talk about offering need-based scholarships, the criteria used to award that is academics. That's what they're looking at, academics, when they're awarding need-based aid. They're not looking at any of these other things. Okay. Now, when it comes to non-need-based aid, the university is looking at academics, alumni affiliation, art, athletics, and some schools may not necessarily look at alumni affiliation anymore because that has to do with legacy scholarships and whether a parent or a grandparent attended that college. Every college isn't doing that anymore, but it is important to look. They also look at, for non-need-based aid, they're looking at ROTC, leadership. They're not looking at minority status, music or drama, religious affiliation. So it's really important to look at this information to really understand the rules of the game. And this isn't necessarily something that's going to show up in the marketing material. And when you come to this common data set, you'll be able to see quite a bit about the university.